Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. Today we are reviewing two Anastasia Beverly Hills products. We are reviewing the Dip Brow Gel in the shade Medium Brown, and we are reviewing the Riveria palette, which I am so excited about because I have seen this all over everything online and I'm just super stoked. I've actually had this palette for like a week now, but I've been super busy. I went to the Behind the Brush tour with Jeffree Star and Lipstick Nick. If you haven't seen that video yet, I will link it in a card right up here so you can check that out if you want to. Needless to say, that is why I have not gotten around to opening this and reviewing this yet, or this, because I have just been busy. I went on a trip and it just took a long time. That is all. But we are here today. So if you would like to see what I think about the Dip Brow Gel and the Riveria palette, then make sure you hit that little subscribe button right down there and the little notification bell right beside that so that you can be alerted every time I upload a new video, and just hang out a little bit longer and keep on watching. Alright, so as you guys can see, I already have my face makeup completely done. This is foundation, concealer, bronzer, contour, highlight, and blush, all completely applied. I did not do my brows, obviously, so we can use the Dip Brow Gel. I did not do my eyes, so that we can use the Riveria palette. Now first, a little bit of information on the products we are reviewing. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Gel in the shade Medium Brown. It is the same shade as what my Brow Wiz is in, my Brow Definer is in, and my Dip Brow Pomade is in. The Dip Brow Gel retail value is $18, and the details of the product: Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Gel is a highly pigmented brow gel with a long-lasting waterproof formula for creating fuller-looking defined brows, like Dip Brow Pomade in a gel form. Dip Brow Gel is a real brow filler that delivers full coverage with rich color payoff. The unique formula adheres to brow hairs, builds the appearance of fullness, and dries down to a seamless matte finish. I have personally been a fan of the Dip Brow Pomade ever since I got it the first time. It's kind of my go-to whenever I do my brows, unless I'm on the go. When I'm on the go, I typically try and do a pencil, like if I'm actually doing brows at school, or mainly at school. When I do them at school, I typically use a pencil. The pomade is great because I like using a brush. I feel like I can get a little more detailed with it, and I can just make fuller, better brows with it. So I'm really excited about this. And before we move on to the eyeshadow, I am gonna go ahead and get my brows done. Now, since I've never used this before, I don't know if this is gonna be more of one of those like use afterwards to set everything and to finish it off kind of products, or if this is gonna be to go in at the very beginning. I am first going to use my Morphe M414. This is the brush that I never knew I needed until I got it, but I use it to clean out the product from my brows, like foundation and concealer or whatever I get in them, any powders that I have, so I can clean them out and then go in with any products I'm going to use. Okay, so I have my brows pretty brushed out, pretty clean. I don't see any more powder in them. So now I suppose this is where I take the brow gel and I just run it through.
12 seconds later.
Wow, okay, so that was the fastest I think I've ever done my brows. Or one of my brows. Like, look how full that looks now compared to the other one. And literally all I had to use was the spoolie on the end of this. And it was really easy to get the little hair-like strokes up in the front because the little like notches in this are thin enough to make those types of strokes. I went a little high a couple of times, so it goes like extra high up here, but I'm gonna try and get rid of some of that. Just blend it out a little bit. But I can't believe how easy that was. I thought that was gonna be a lot of work, honestly. I'm gonna take just the tiniest bit of concealer back over the top there, just to kind of clean up that edge. There we go. I really like that too because it almost sets my brows at the same time as the product is drying, so I don't have to go in with another product. I'm kind of excited. This is something I could literally use every day. I did notice that brushing backwards within my hairs worked out the best, like it got the most coverage all at once. Were there instructions? Let's see what the packaging actually says. See if there are instructions. I don't really see any instructions on the box. Let me see if the website has like a how-to. Yeah, how to apply. To fill brows with color, brush Dip Brow Gel from the arch and extend toward the tail. Then fill from the front of the brow out toward the arch using the remaining product on the wand. Brush in the direction as hair's natural growth. For fuller coverage, brush the gel through the brows a second time to create hair-like strokes. To fill in areas of sparseness, use the tip of the brush to apply the formula directly onto the skin, then blend the product through the brow. Okay, got it. And then brush it through again if you want more coverage, which that's what I did, actually. And then if you want to fill in specific spots, that's when you use the tip of the brush, which makes sense because it holds a lot of product. Just like a mascara wand, really. I'm digging this brow. Like, I really like this. Okay, that literally took me probably about maybe 10 minutes, probably not even 10 minutes. My brows are pretty much done. I mean, they're not perfect, obviously. This one needs a little bit more of an arch. They're really close. Like, this is perfect for on-the-go, quick, natural brows. You can make it natural, you can make it a little more full. It's nice because you can get that super soft edge and not have like block brows with just one product. This is in no way sponsored or like promoted. I'm not on the PR list or anything. It's not like that. I just wanted to try it. But anyway, I really like it. This is something I'm definitely gonna be using regularly. And I don't think this is completely necessary, but I'm gonna go in with my Brow Wiz with the pencil side and just use that tiny little pencil to make a sharp, clean line right underneath, and then carve that out with some concealer because I really like that sharp line. On a day-to-day basis, this isn't really something that's necessary. This is just kind of what I like to do for like full beat. Okay guys, I just gotta say, these two things together, the Brow Wiz and the Dip Brow Gel, are perfect. These are a perfect combination. This gets those perfect, sharp, clean lines if you want them. This gets that nice, fluffy, filled in brow if you want that. And these two combined just make the perfect brow. I would probably say next time I do this, I'm gonna go in with the Brow Wiz first and then make the lines that I want, then fill everything in with this and lay down the hairs with this. But perfect combination, I love it. Let's talk about the Riveria palette. This is beautiful. Alright, so the Riveria palette is $45, and the details for the palette are set sail with 14 all-new Paradise-inspired mattes and metallics, from vibrant jewel tones to bright pops of color. Anastasia Beverly Hills Riveria palette is an essential springtime color collection featuring classic neutrals and seasonal tones that are perfect for creating your ultimate vacation looks. It is cruelty-free. Why you'll love it is the full pigment powder formula delivers high color payoff and intensity, contains 14 all-new shadows and pressed pigments with 8 ultra mattes, 4 metallics, and 2 duochromes. Wide shade range allows you to create everything from cool and warm toned neutral looks to daring bright eye looks, shimmering glam looks, and bold smoky eyes. It includes a dual-ended brush and a large mirror housed inside travel-friendly packaging, cruelty-free, paraben-free, gluten-free, and dermatologist tested. Well, that's neat. Does that just mean like a dermatologist tried it on and liked it? Okay, I'm so excited. So this is what the unicarton looks like. And there's the palette itself. And it comes with a little thing. Is this my instructions? What does this say? It's a little piece of paper that tells you Bahamas, Palm, and Canes is not intended for use around the immediate eye area because they're pressed pigments. In case you do not know, pressed pigments are not eye safe because they can stain sensitive eyes. So they're not intended for the eye. So they legally have to put in that disclaimer. I personally do not care. I prefer pressed pigments, honestly, because I like the color payoff that you get with pressed pigments. But to each of their own. You might not like pressed pigments. You might not like a little bit of staining if you even do stain. Not a big deal for most people, but some people it is. So here is what the palette looks like. It feels like, you know, like those beach chairs or like pool chairs, like by the side of the pool, how it feels like that cloth plasticky cloth, I guess. That's kind of what this feels like to me. It reminds me of a beach chair. And it's got gold, shimmery, reflective, metallic font. And it's very pretty. It's very classy looking. And if we open her up, this is literally so gorgeous. I mean, it reminds me of spring. This is like spring in a palette. And it's so different from all of her other palettes. Okay, so just to give you an idea, from the far right, I believe on your side, that is the Soft Glam palette, then it's Norvina, then Subculture, then the Riviera palette. See how different it is? Like, you have a bunch of these like soft, wearable shades. Granted, each palette is very different from the other, but then you jump into Riviera and it's like, what happened? It's just so different, but it's so awesome. I'm so glad that she made this. I really like it. I think it's really cool. And I am going to swatch this palette for you so you know exactly what we're working with. However, we know that swatches have nothing to do with the performance of the shadows. It literally just shows you the color story on an arm instead of it being just in the palette. But I love swatching, so we're gonna go ahead and start doing that. All right, first shade we have is Sails, and this is a completely matte white. It seems very buildable, and it's got good coverage on my arm so far, which that says not a lot, but so far. Next shade we have is called Yacht. Oh wow, that's pretty. A very bronzy brown. Next shade is Seashells. Wow. That's already one of my favorites. I like that a lot. Next shade is Palermo. Ooh, it's like a rosy, pinky, magenta-y type shade. It almost has like a light pink duochrome. The next shade is Seaside. Oh wow, that is a beautiful like smoky lavender, I guess is what I would call it. It's like a gray blue purple, if that makes sense. Then we have the shade Inheritance. Ooh, that is money. That looks like money to me. It's a bright yellowy gold. Then we have the shade Mediterranean. Wow. That's a very, I don't know, like a, well, like the Mediterranean Ocean. It's like a deep blue with a little bit of a purple to it. It looks like it has like a lavender undertone though. And that's it for the metallics. The next shade is called Estates. It's like a coral peach, I would say. Very soft. I don't even know if you'll be able to see that on camera actually. Next we have the shade Cabana. It's like in mustard yellow, and I was gonna say like an olive yellow, but I guess mustard yellow would be closer. It would make more sense anyway than olive yellow. You have an olive green, not an olive yellow. Then we have the shade Coastline. It's like a darker coral, I guess you could say. Then we have the shade Bahamas. Oh, that is where it's at. That is beautiful. That is pigmented. That is a pink. A pink, a pink. A very pink. And then we have the shade Monte Carlo. That is a nice soft rose kind of color is what it would be called. It looks very rosy to me. And then our last two shades are Canes, a very deep purple, and it's very pretty. It looks like a cool tone purple. It's very nice. And then the shade Palm. Also it looks like a cool toned brown. And that one's like kind of the epitome of brown, really. A true brown, I guess. And that is the palette completely. And don't forget, I will also insert pictures of the swatches. One with flash, one without flash. Close with the flash on, just so you could truly see what the shades look like. Oh, that blue though. Those swatches were so good. And just so you have like a visual representation of it, it was these three that were the pressed pigments. And of course I have no plan or idea what I'm going to do today or tonight. It's definitely tonight now. I do, however, know that I'm going to start with my Morphe R35 big fluffy brush and go into the shade Sails, and I'm gonna set my base with that white. Never mind, I'm actually gonna go into the shade Estate and do that. I'd rather use something more my skin tone just in case. My base is now blended out for the 50th time, and I wanna give you guys this moment before I start. That's so gratifying. Speaking of gratifying, I finally have a mic to be able to do an ASMR video, and I would love to do that. I just don't know what to do it on or with, or I don't know, like should I do my makeup routine, or I don't know what to do with it for sure. Okay, within this shade so far, there is a lot of cake back in the pan. As you know, for me, maybe you don't, but now you do. For me, this doesn't matter because cake back in the pan has no bearing on the eye look usually, but just so everyone's aware. Okay, I feel like that is just about everywhere now. So the thing that I've seen everyone doing on like Instagram is Bahamas all in the crease as like a transition shade or like on the outside of the eye, and then seashells on the lid of a cut crease. I think I do want to do a cut crease, but I don't think I want to do any of that. I don't know. It always looks really good, but I don't want to do what everybody else is doing, you know? I'm just gonna start out with Monte Carlo as my transition color, not the purple, that one. Yeah, Monte Carlo as my transition color, and build that up and see if maybe it will be like my crease color. And we'll go from there. I'm using my R37 Morphe brush to do that with. A lot of cake back in that too. And I mean like a lot of cake back. It's okay, it's fine. It doesn't bug me, it's just messy. You know, I'll say so far this is building up very nicely. That's a really pretty pink. Now I'm gonna take my M514 into Cane's. It's the deep purple. There. And I'm gonna try to deepen up my crease with that, and only my crease. Also very powdery. I'm just beginning to think that every matte in here is gonna be powdery. I just wanna make sure I let you guys know, because you might care about something like that. Even though I don't, because we each have our own little things, you know? Now I'm gonna go back in with my R37 into Monte Carlo again, and I'm just gonna blend out the edges of Cane's where I kind of lost some of that Monte Carlo shade, and probably take Monte Carlo out a little bit more. Maybe not, I don't know, we'll see where it ends. But I for sure want to bring that color back out because I really liked that pink. Okay, now I'm gonna take a Morphe M433 and go into the shade Coastline here. And with this one, I'm just gonna blend out the outermost edge of Monte Carlo and kind of use that as my shade to blend in Monte Carlo with my skin. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and match this side up with this side because I feel like this is at a happy place for me to start on the lid. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have both creases looking relatively the same, I think. Yeah, they're pretty close. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my crease. I actually think I'm gonna use my Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Concealer for the first time ever and see how this stuff works. This one's in the shade Create. Okay, the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Concealer, I get it, it's an awesome product idea, but if I'm getting the brush dirty and like tinted by putting the brush to my lid with eyeshadow on it, and I put it back in the jar thing, like I'm transferring that purple into the jar. I don't have to clean it off every time, because if I do that, not only am I wasting a bunch of concealer, but I'm also doing what I would be doing if I was using a brush anyway. So like, I don't know, I think I'd just rather have the concealer and a brush myself. But if you don't have a brush, and maybe if you want to have something that you can use on the go, this would work. Yes, I could see it for on the go. I could go with it on the go. Okay, so my crease is completely cut now. It is like cut off. There is no crease left. And it might look kind of big, I realize. I have a hooded eye, and if you don't know what that is, that means whenever I relax my eyes and I'm just like looking at you, you see how you can't really see any of the cut crease anymore? But when I do this, it looks like it's huge and like it takes up all my eye. It's cause I got the little droopiness up here and it covers all of my eyelid. So I have to make my cut creases instead of just a lid like a normal eye would. I have to bring them like way up if I want them to be like real cut creases. So I did, and I do. Not all the time. I don't always bring it up that high and that far out, but I wanted to be dramatic. I'm feeling dramatic tonight, or this morning. It's like 2 a.m. at this point. I think I started filming this at like 6, probably. Using my Morphe M204 flat blending brush or packer brush, I'm not sure. I'm gonna now go into the shade Mediterranean. This is the one I've been wanting to use, and I'm gonna use that on my outer edge and bring it probably about a third of the way in, because I also want to use 2 other colors on the way in. Ugh, I'm in love with this shade. That is so beautiful. And I've got to say, so far, I have absolutely 0 fallout, which is really awesome, especially for seeing the amount of kickback that was in the pan, because I was really scared that there was going to be a lot of fallout. So far, it's perfect. There's literally 0. Yay! Okay, so even though I was like talking hardcore smack about the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Concealer, about the whole like brush dirty thing, the formula, however, for eyeshadow going on top of it is phenomenal. It is amazing. Like, this eyeshadow is sticking to it perfectly, and it's not like clumping up, it's catching any parts that I think might have been fallout and stopping it from being fallout beforehand. So yes, I still stick by what I said earlier. It's gross that you're having to get eyeshadow on a brush that goes back into a container, but it's very effective and the formula is nice. That's all. I think we are done with the shade Mediterranean. It is time to move on, and now we're gonna go into the shade Yacht. I just thought it might mix with Mediterranean. This is potentially where this entire look is gonna go south and it's not gonna work together anymore. We'll find out. Let's see. Okay, so the Yacht shade itself is applying very beautifully to the lid. I'm about to try and start blending it into Mediterranean. I think the only reason I'm worried about that is because I don't know what color they're gonna turn into. Yay! They didn't make a new color. Literally all they did was blend in together. That's so awesome. Sweet. I do have a little bit of fallout now though. I'm gonna try to brush that away lightly. And now I'm gonna take my Morphe, this flat tiny brush, and go into the shade Inheritance, that super bright gold there, and put that right on the inner corner on the inner third part of my lid. This gold is literally perfect. This is like that amazing true to color gold that you always look for, that like yellow gold. Okay, so now I've gotten both sides looking exactly the same for the most part. Now I'm gonna go with my Luxie 141 mini round brush and go back into the shade Canes, the deep purple shade, and take that just on my lower lash line. I also ended up taking Canes a little bit up into Mediterranean, so like I kind of connected the lower lash line with the, I guess, wing that I've kind of made. Speaking of wing, now that I have finished all of that with the eyeshadow part, I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M160 1/16, it's like super tiny angled brush, and going in with my Jefa Cosmetics Velour Liquid Lipstick in the shade Diva, and I'm going to attempt to make a hot pink wing on my lid. Okay, so after a lot of time and very detailed work, I have a pink wing there, and I like it. I think I'm also gonna take a very small flat brush again, and now go into the shade Bahamas, the hot pink in here, and just set that liner with this shade. It shouldn't take very much, honestly, because this lipstick is pretty wet still. Okay, I feel like that is applied and set pretty much as well as it's gonna be. So now I will be back after I get this wing liner done. Be right back. Now all of the liner and eyeshadow is done. I'm going to go in with my Benefit Roller Lash mascara and pop that on. And also my Lily lashes in the style Gaia. I am going to, however, curl my lashes first. I think we have officially reached the end of the look. I think that's just about everything all together. I went ahead and went in with the lippy pencil in the shade Shot Clock and the Jeffree Star liquid lip in the shade Birthday Suit with a little bit of I'm Nude on top of it right in the middle, just to make like that kind of semi three-dimensional kind of look sort of thing is what I was going for. I will say, after a lot of time with this palette, experimenting with the shades and building them with each other and on top of each other together, I really like this palette a lot. The Riveria palette is definitely something I was not expecting and caught me off guard, and is something I'm very happy got released, because these colors, just these colors right here. This is gorgeous. Everything blended very well. The metallics were super metallic looking and foiled, and I didn't have to really mess with it too much to get the shine that I wanted. It looked the way I wanted it to from the very beginning of me putting it down, and I'm very happy about that. I'm gonna give this palette a definite yes on recommendation, because it's definitely something that I'm happy to have in my collection. It has some shades that I will be happy to dip into over and over again. So just like every other Anastasia Beverly Hills palette I have had so far, it has yet to disappoint, and this one didn't either. And I'm sure you already know how I feel about the brow gel. This, from the moment I started using it and finished that first brow, it was like, I was done for after that, because this was super quick and super easy. Really, I guess I've got to say, I thought everything we used was great, except for the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Concealer. This was not the greatest stuff in the whole wide world, because the whole brush and the eyeshadow on it and the dipping back in, and no. The formula, yes. That formula with just my regular brushes would be fine. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me, and I hope you like the look. I had lots of fun with this look. I had no plan going into it, as I never do, obviously, but I think it turned out pretty well. I like it a lot, and I hope you guys had a good time. If you did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, because it lets me know that you enjoy my videos. Also, if you'd like, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just at ChristopherJMUA. And if you guys never gain anything out of watching any of my videos, at least gain this. And that is to always remember and never forget that you're beautiful. Bye guys. Since you're still here and you're still watching this video, if you tap the little circle in the middle of the screen, it's gonna let you subscribe to my channel. If you tap either one of the boxes on each side of that circle, one of them is gonna let you watch the previous video I uploaded, while the other one will let you watch the video that's suggested to you based on the previous videos that you've watched.